Welcome to the Femalepreneur Coach podcast. I am your host, Rebecca Barr. I am a transformational mindset and business coach and six-figure award-winning female entrepreneur. Ladies, I'm here to tell you that business and making money doesn't have to be hard when you're in alignment and flow. Inside this podcast, I will be showing you how to transform your mindset to program it for success, how to maximize your money vibrations, and how to redesign your business for ultimate financial and time freedom. You know you are meant to live an epic life. Now it's time to claim it. Hi ladies, welcome to another episode of the Femalepreneur Coach podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Barr, and I'm super excited to be sharing everything with you today that went down at the CEO Brunch that I just held on Tuesday this week. It was absolutely incredible, but so much came up, and I love doing these in-person events. The connection is like no other, and just so much came up, not only for me as a mentor, like a full circle moment in a lot of things that I was doing. So it was also my book launch, which was super exciting, but also for my clients. Like some of the conversations that we had were just so powerful, so activating, so honest, so authentic. I always say that I hate to use that word, but it's true. And just being in the room really does make the difference. So I wanted to share a few things with you because 2023 has been a bit of a journey for a lot of us, and again, the women in the room all said exactly the same. It's been like a real kind of evolution, graduation, bit of a shit show, like for some of us, dark nights of our soul, and just feeling really like we're outgrowing elements of ourselves and our business. So then knowing that had it on great authority with one of the women who is like really spiritually led, like knows about the moon's energy and the astrology and all the things. And she was saying how like 2024 is going to be better. I think we've got a Mercury retrograde before the end of the year, which is super fun. But just again, it was just so great to feel that a lot of women have been going through this and that there has been a lot of purpose behind it. So first of all, I want to share something with you that was quite profound for me, actually, and it just really made me think. So I was taking the baby home the other day. We were walking back from ballet and she was trying to walk on the wall. Now she's only like 2, obviously. So I needed to hold her hand, but she wouldn't let me. She was like, no, mummy, like I've got this. And literally, it was until I said to her, Aviana, let mummy hold your hands and then you can go faster, that she was like, okay, bitch, let's go. Like literally, then she was invested in having that support and guidance at the prospect of being able to go faster and get to where she wanted to go first of all. And I literally sat there and thought, this is mentorship, literally 101. This is the very thing that women seem to resist, but we need most, is that person to take us by the hand and help us to get to where we want to go faster. And it was just so interesting that at such a young age, it is innate that we are meant to do everything by ourselves. And if you aren't like struggling or earning it, then it's not as good. And it was just so interesting to me. So I wanted to share that with you inside my podcast and my Facebook group, because I was like, wow, she is 2 years old and already she is so determined to do everything the hard way and by herself. And actually, as soon as I said, like, literally, let me help you, you can go faster, that she was like, okay, let's go. So that for me, I think was again a bit of a full, like just a real like common theme that a lot of the women in the room from the brunch had really been like either too much in their masculine, too much in their feminine, not doing enough, doing too much, and not really allowing themselves to be supported or in receipt of help and mentorship fully that could really get them to where they wanted to go. And again, this was just telling a moment ago when I was speaking with a client, we've been focusing very heavily on her business growth goals and plans and all the things. And in the meantime, there's some other things going on that sit outside of her business that are absolutely going to be impacting her ability to show up, her energy, her conviction in what she's doing. But she didn't want to mention it to me because she didn't see the direct line of sight between that and her business goals. And it's like, but this is affecting you. It's affecting your energy, your confidence, your happiness, your peace. Do you not then think that that is going to trickle down and translate into your business? And if we can fix this thing over here, we're going to make quantum leaps over here. And she was like, okay, that's so interesting. Like, I didn't want to say, I didn't want to like take us off track. I didn't want to da-da-da-da. And it was like, why are women like just, why are we, and I'm including myself in this, just conditioned to always think that it needs to be this or that? It can't be and we're never looking at our whole self when it comes to moving our business forwards. And again, that was the feedback from a lot of the women in the group, that they had invested in programs before that only dealt with one piece of the puzzle, that maybe taught them one strategy, one thing, and it was one person's measure of success, one person's pathway that they had created that had got them their goal that they were following. They didn't have that wholeness, that holistic approach to themselves as the woman behind the business, as well as the business, and knowing their natural skill set, their natural strengths, their energy types, their personality types, their preferred way of working. They're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole because that's what somebody told them would lead to their success, and then left wondering like they're the problem when they're not then getting those results. And ultimately, it's because they either haven't balanced the masculine or the feminine in their business, or they've not built their business in a way that is sustainable, that actually aligns with them as a human being, in any way that means that they can then pick up that baton or that knowledge or that thing and then move forwards in a way that's actually going to create any level of success for them. They are just left feeling bad and wrong, like there is something wrong with them, that they are obviously not smart, they couldn't get it, they don't understand it, so therefore they're never going to have success. And I think the whole theme for the day was obviously balancing around the masculine and the feminine, because some of the women admitted that they'd also been too much in their feminine, where they were like sitting here thinking good vibes and good thoughts, but didn't necessarily have the structure to their business to support them, which again, a lot of people don't talk about, particularly spiritual communities or heart-led business coaches on, and I'm included in that sometimes I overestimate the fact that people must know that I'm working hard. You know, I was saying with my client earlier that I'd had this feedback on one of my forms when somebody had booked a call with me to see if I might be a good fit to work with, that they'd put the feedback that, well, you've got 5 kids, so obviously you're not working very much. And if you've managed to get great success, I want to learn from you. And it was like, oh my God, no. Like I work a lot and I get a lot of gratification and I feel very inspired and I get a lot of self-fulfillment from working as much as I do. But I've had to find that balance of, and I took for granted that people would know that, well, obviously I've got systems in place. Obviously I work on lead generation. Obviously I've got a sales and marketing plan. I might make it look effortless because it appears that all I'm doing is showing up, but I've got the other elements covered. If anything, I've always been a person that's very much in my masculine, and I've had to bring in my feminine. And I got that feedback a lot from the women that came, that even just coming from my event in January to now, like, wow, you just have this real lean back energy, and you've got like this, you're really in your feminine and your leadership and like conviction, and it's just feels effortless watching you. And it's like, do you know what it is? It's because I've got a really solid foundation, another year around the sun, another year of learned wisdom under my belt, another year of knowing me and what works for me and what doesn't, what I want and what I don't want, what I need in leadership and mentorship and what I don't need. And I actually pulled out of a very high ticket mastermind this year because it just didn't feel aligned to where I wanted to go and how I wanted to build my business brand. I didn't want to be in those rooms with those women that are focused solely on those things. I wanted something else. And that has really come from, like I say, another year of wisdom, another year of self-reflection, another year of listening and strengthening my relationship with myself. It has nothing to do with business strategy. If anything, I've gone backwards and forwards and a little bit around the houses when it comes to growing and scaling my business this year, because I'm a human being and I am a woman that is continually redefining the boundaries of what I want and what is important to me as the other moving parts move around in my life. Like, that is how life is meant to go. We are not meant to just go from A to B with this real, like, clear trajectory of growth. It's messy, it's ever moving and ever evolving, and I give myself permission to do that. I don't need to say, well, I said I'm going to do this thing, so I got to do this thing, like, and ride it all the way home, even though it doesn't feel good or aligned anymore. It's like, actually, as a woman, you get to choose. And I think that was kind of like, just again, one of the beautiful themes of the brunch. It was like just being the empowered woman as yourself, as you are, the hot mess, perfectly imperfect, figuring it out as I go, giving myself permission to just try version of you is what you really need to own in order to create quantum leaps in your business success. Because the more that you can really own what you do and don't stand for, and therefore what you do and you don't need in terms of mentorship, means that you're going to call in the right mentors when the student's ready, the mentor appears. Hopefully that's me. but also then with that like tailored form of mentorship and guidance, and whatever it is that you need for your next evolution of growth, you're going to then get quantum leaps. It's not looking outside of yourself and what is everybody else telling me what I need, what is everybody else doing that will probably give me success, right? It's about really getting unstoppable in yourself, like in your mindset, in your core, in your essence, in your belief system, in who you want to be in this lifetime and how you want to show up. That then is a really beautiful, stable base to add all of the bells and whistles and layers to your business, to then find a sales and marketing strategy or lead generation strategy that really supports that goal and that version of you, that plays to all of your natural strengths, that really feels good and sustainable and an accurate reflection of you. Allow your business to be an extension of you, and then you can then have that success in the most sustainable, aligned, like exciting, vibrant like way, rather than just doing business in such a masculine way. But then equally, knowing that you need to also be honest with yourself. Are you playing small? Are you leaving money on the table because you're too much in your feminine? And one of the things that came up was, one of the ladies said that she was so in her feminine, like she really didn't realize that actually she's kind of been the block to her own growth in not having some element of structure. She's therefore not being able to have some element of growth, because what gets tracked gets improved. If you're not, consistency is key, the compound effect. In her not having that, she essentially was kind of like one step forward, two steps back, like a little bit of success, don't know what happened, how I managed to create that success. So now for I can't leverage it and compound that success or replicate it to even make more in the future. So she was always left feeling a bit like, I don't really know. This month seems to have been good. I don't really know what happened there. I don't know how to replicate that. I don't know what's working. And then that's a very confusing place to be as a business owner, when you are left like, I don't really know, because she hasn't got any element of data to give her feedback. Then you're left with your emotions and being at the mercy of those. And but essentially when I then asked her, because she transitioned from a corporate role, I was like, how were you in your corporate job? And she was like, wow, I worked in recruitment, I was so in my masculine. I was the most structured, targeted, like get shit done kind of woman. And then I've become a business owner within the heart-led spiritual community, and I've kind of abandoned like this part of me that had cultivated and created success in my past, because I believed that I needed to be in my feminine, super spiritual, super soft, like different version of me. And it's like, actually, guess what? You get to be both. You get to be both, because you get to be both. Like you get to choose. You don't have to abandon parts of yourself. And any mentor that tells you that you do, is a them problem. It's not a you problem. So as I said about Aviana, like, let me hold your hand so we can go faster. This isn't because my way is better. I know more than you. I'm better than you. It's because I'm going to support you in all of your genius and your light and your gifts and your just beautiful amazingness, to amplify that and be more that you can be. And that's all having a masculine structure to your business is. It's just supporting the feminine, which is the beautiful, innovative, creative, collaborative, fun, vibrant version of you. You've got to have that both balance. So I'd love to invite you. Today's only really a short episode because I'm just kind of catching up. Like I said, the brunch was amazing. Being in the rooms, having those honest, authentic, like keeping it real conversations, really again just confirmed a few things in my mind as a mentor, that all of the decisions that I'd made this year were absolutely the right decisions. It really inspired me to take things up a notch in terms of the movement that I want to create, with getting more cash and sustainable business models into the hands of heart-led incredible women like you, I'm sure, if you're listening, in ways that serve you, not me. As the mentor, it's not about me. And I knew that already, but it was like there had also been a temptation to think, okay, I just want to kind of like support the women over here that I feel that can afford me, and and there was an element of like hiding, I think, or feeling again that I need to choose. If I charge high ticket and work with women that are more established, does that make me not as integrity led as a coach? Does it mean that I'm moving away from the women that need my help over here that can't yet afford high ticket? And for me, it was like, no, I recognize that actually there is a lot of abilities, a lot of skill sets, a lot of strengths, a lot of passions, a lot of different levels of success in this room. And I can help all of these women equally. And I want to, because I'm invested in all of these women and their different stages of the journey of the entrepreneurial journey and the stages of their business growth. So it's just, yeah, it's got a lot of things in motion for me thinking, okay, if I'm going to do that, how does that need to look? If I'm going to charge high ticket, what does that need to involve? What does that need to look like? Who do I need to work with that then still feels like it's filling up my cup and my soul as an entrepreneur and helping the women that ultimately are going to benefit from my help, not the women that I just think can afford my prices, which is the temptation in the coaching space that I've definitely been told by mentors many times over the years, just triple your prices, double your prices, because someone will pay it, right? And it's like, but I don't want to do that. Like, it didn't necessarily feel aligned to do that. And it meant that I wouldn't then be able to support the women that I wanted to support. So it's like, just things are constantly moving in your business and evolving, as you do as a woman, as life does, as your family does, as your priorities do, as your goals do. And I think what I wanted to get from today's episode was just kind of confirmation of giving yourself permission to do that. You know, don't stick too rigidly to the plan. Don't look outside of yourself. Don't go one way or another way. You're in your masculine or your feminine. Don't allow yourself to be unsupported and not able to achieve your greatness in this lifetime, because you're worthy and deserving of it. In the world, no one wins when you play small. The world wins when you do. When you play at your edges, when you play all out, when you really expand into what feels like growth for you. You know, it feels scared. For some of the women, it was just coming to the event felt like growth because they hadn't done that before. And that felt really exciting. They then walked away with a whole nother level of activation and all the things they weren't even anticipating. Even just getting through the door and into a room of women that they didn't know felt exciting and expansive. Now we get to take that up a notch because they've done it. So for me, next year, when I think about my goals, it's almost like just continuing to follow this path of things that feel intimidating, overwhelming, a little bit beyond my reach. Okay, it's that. Like, that's the thing. And that's kind of what I did this year. I didn't leave anything off the table. I've traveled the world. I've written my book. I've been interviewed on Fox News in America. Like, I've spoke on stages. I've hosted events. Like, I've had the most incredible trajectory for growth because I didn't leave anything off the table. Anything that scared me, overwhelmed me, felt a little bit, I was like, oh, it's that then. That's what I need to do next. And I think I'm going to take that approach into the next year too. But I hope that you've got value from this episode. I can't wait to see the comments over on Facebook. Let me know what you think. And if you are looking for your next level of aligned growth that balances the masculine and the feminine, that really plays to the woman and empowers you so that you can go out and be your own guru and create this incredible business that is an extension of you, not an extension of me, then I would love to invite you to come and join me either inside my Aligned, Empowered and Abundant Business Accelerator Academy, or just in any of my programs, any of my events, buy my book, like any of the things, because I know all of it will support you with exactly where you are at and where you are meant to be at this point and get you to your next level of edge and growth. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with another like value-based episode too. Thank you for listening to this episode. It's been amazing to share this time with you, and I feel honoured to be part of your journey. If you've loved what you've heard, had an aha moment, or found value in this episode, then please do like, comment and share. I would love to connect with you on Instagram and Facebook, so come and find me, and I look forward to helping you build your epic life.